Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Summit 3 America Qualifier Phase 2. We're in Day 3 of this action, and well, this first best of 3 is turning into quite the spicy matchup. Just game number 1 now. Voidboys taking on Wheel was very back and forth. We thought, looking at Voidboys' lineup, it was the dream. I mean, Sniper, Troll, Faceless Void. What could go wrong? What happened?
The last few fights went wrong. They pulled everything back after a terrible start and were just cruising. They were looking like they were on their way to a victory, and then suddenly just all it took was one fight where things didn't really go their way. Suddenly it led to Roshan being picked up by Radiant Side, and well, I didn't know I'd been missing out, man. American Dota. Whew,
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's not like the 40K viewers you get on Europe, but my God, you'll see some fun. So let's go ahead and have some more fun as we hop into game number 2. So here we are. And look at that. Got to get rid of the Troll and Sniper. Voidboys are like, we don't even want it now. We're done with it. We don't want anyone to have it if we can't. So they ban out both of them. We'll get rid of the Bat Rider and the Storm Spirit. And their first pick is going to actually be an Earthshaker. Okay. That's interesting of a first pick. I mean, you have other options out there. I mean, what are the top priorities? I mean, Axe
and Jug, I guess. They first picked Jug last game. They had second pick and got the Jug with the Earthshaker together. I guess they just really like the Earthshaker. I think this is a really solid opening pick, though, in general, because it just fits any kind of play style.
Like, what's going to counter an Earthshaker right away? Or what's worth an immediate counter of an Earthshaker? You don't give anything out there.
It opens up just a lot of picks that otherwise you might not be able to run. As far as the offlane goes, being able to get that first fissure block off, guarantee a creep wave of experience, so make things a lot easier for your offlane when you have an Earthshaker, and then also just helps open up the mid lane. You can run riskier mid heroes because you've got the protection of the Earthshaker fissure.
Well, Voidboys pick up some of the next most disgusting heroes you can ask for as they get the Axe and the Shadow Fiend here. Beyond's been doing a lot of work on the Shadow Fiend throughout most of their recent play. And now Axe here, I imagine, for Mercies, please. So now they got a great initiation. They got their damage. But the nice thing going for Wheel is Relic has been used to the fact that he's just going against Shadow Fiend a lot. I actually haven't seen Relic play Shadow Fiend. It's more of him just going against it. And if they have the option, it might be later in the draft, but to pick up something like Alina, or more recently he's been going for the Wind Ranger, he's been showing that he can outclass a Shadow Fiend in that mid lane.
Yeah, I was thinking about the second pick, and I figured they would either go for the Jug or pick up like a mid lane dominator that might get banned, like a Queen of Pain. But there's enough mid laners you can run against the SF mid. There's the Queen of Pain, the Lina you mentioned. I think even a Zeus is really good. Not so much as far as winning against the SF, but just being a good hero to fight the Axe. You want magic burst damage is the way to basically beat an Axe. So I think whatever mid lane it's going to be one of probably those three: Quap, Zeus, or Lina. So you're kind of guaranteed at least one of them will still be in the pool. And Voidboys are targeting their bans elsewhere anyways. They start by taking out the Skywrath Mage.
I do really like that Zeus grab, especially when you got a team that's relying on their Blink initiators. That passive static is so big, 1200 range. You could just cast it on a casual creep, and then there could be a lurking Axe or whoever nearby, and next thing you know, they're messing up their jump in because the initiation is just ruined from that front. So
it's been like the Cloud9 approach. They've been like giving their opponents Axe and just instantly picking up the Fata Zeus in like the first pick or two, just because they use it so well. They spam the Thunder God's Wrath all the time just for scouting information to know where it's safe to farm, where they can find ganks. So
anti-smoke, it's just so good. He had so much potential and versatility to the game. It's not really a surprise that most teams kind of throw them into their rotation here, but they're banning out the Omni Knight here, something that they usually are known to pick up from time to time, actually getting rid of it here against the Voidboys. Voidboys ban out the Silencer as they go for the Phoenix, and they also took the extra step to ban out the Skywrath Mage, two of the best to really give Phoenix a lot of trouble in the game, especially in the early game. So that makes me think that they're thinking of an offlane Phoenix, because normally that's what he'd be going against. I mean, it normally should be an offlane Axe, but that just seems a bit peculiar to me. But I guess they just don't want to deal with so much silence.
It may be a dual lane as well. I think some teams are running this like 2-1-2 step, and Phoenix with an Axe. So the Phoenix is like the 4 position support, the Axe is farming, and then as soon as you've got enough of the lane, Axe goes back to the jungle, farms its blink, and then Phoenix kind of takes over. That's something like IG were doing around the time of like Major All-Stars a bit. And, well, we talked about some of those magic burst damagey mid-heroes. It looks like Lina is going to be the option for Wheel.
So that's the Relic grab right there to take it to Shadow Fiend, plus can do similar to what he did with the Queen of Pain, run around, have the burst, have the lockdown, get the Yules, and then pretty much anyone in your way you can definitely torch. But 4th pick to come here. And the other thing is also, if they kind of want to get someone else that can offer the same utilities as Skywrath and the Silencer, Wheel could always fall back on something like a Disruptor for their secondary support offers. Good silence. A Glimpse could certainly help at someone like a Phoenix trying to get away or get the Axe of Hell back or anything like that. We'll have to see if it's something they go for here. But next pickup is going to be for Voidboys. Still need another support here and potentially their Patsoul hero.
Yeah, I think that's probably where they're going. Could be the Axe farming the safe lane, but I think they want that kind of secondary core or carry, just to give, unless they're going for like some really high impact, high burst damage supports.
Lion's out there, Witch Doctor's out there. You know, these are just seem pretty cut and dry kind of supports that do offer a lot. Could work out pretty well. Treant Protector, if you really want to do the whole, you know, Root plus Phoenix Egg, could be an option as well. That's a lot of fun. Something you see from like your EG squad, and other teams have been utilizing it for themselves. But they're sweating this clock a bit, down to 10 seconds here to go for the pick.
I don't know what the obvious, like, I think there's lots of supports, the options, but even like the safe lane farmer, I'm wondering what kind of heroes are left. So they get the support now. I think it's a lot more thought will go into what the farmer's going to be. Heroes like Slaughter available. Maybe you go for like another kind of more tempo controller, even like a Centaur. But I feel like you've got your Blink Initiation covered with the Axe and even later on with the Lion. So
it does feel a little bit greedy here from Voidboys. If their support duo is going to be Phoenix and Lion, I mean that. You know, Phoenix needs a lot of levels. That's why you'll see Phoenix even grab up a Midas even just to get that burst of XP so we can get that egg leveled up immediately. And eventually Lion, I imagine, wants to be able to get the Blink Dagger here. But okay, that's a Morphling. Nice. Is that an off-lane Morphling? Oh my goodness.
I believe so.
I have been nerd sweating over the Strength Morphling, so...
Yep. I'd like to give a shout. You know, the first person who did that, we brought him in the studio, Mr. Winter. He kind of... I don't know if he really pioneered it, but he was the first one really pushing for it before. It was even a thing in like NEL. Like he was like, man, he actually played NEL while I was here, and it's like, I want to show NEL how strong offlane Morphling is. So he played it like 5 or 10 games, and then he showed Merlini, and like this is back when Merlini was still in a team before they disbanded, and he's like, we're getting TC to do this. This is really strong. So TC was practicing his offlane Morphling in NEL because of Winter, and now it's spread.
It's just such an interesting thing. And one of the first guides written up was from Clan_Iraq, and they did, you know, he's one that's almost a mad scientist with his guides. Some of them a bit crazy, some of them ingenious, you know? Yep. And this Morphling one's really worked out nicely. The thing is even some teams can consider picking up the Morphling early because the counters to a Strength Morphling are not the same to the counters of the Agility Morphling. Something like an Elder Titan could be easily taken advantage of from a Strength Morphling. I mean, you could just use the Replicate and take that aura for yourself, and he's got no armor to even worry about. So the nice thing is that for pub play, you can just get away with cliff jungling. Because the most important thing is you just need XP on the Morphling. So the next best thing is take him to the off lane. He'll be able to soak up the damage. He will try his best to get CS, but he just wants levels. By the time you get to level 5, you got 3 levels into Adaptive Strike. You convert it over, and that's when you got that big 4.25 second stun. And regardless of BKB, it doesn't matter. It's instant. Waveform forward, stun, they're out. Cold. For 4.25 seconds, there's nothing they can do about it.
And if you see him coming, it's not like you want a BKB before a fight begins. You want the BKB in the middle of the fight. So a lot of the time you just accept the fact this guy is going to stun you. You're in for some fun.
So what's good against it? It's hard because they already committed to their supports. Normally an Abaddon would have been good. Great. LC could be okay, but they also have potential supports there. But okay, that's a life stealer. We don't see this guy very often, but maybe in this kind of situation... I don't know. Not a traditional vehicle. Maybe Phoenix, Icarus dive bombs with Lifestealer. We haven't seen that a whole lot, or even the Axe, I suppose, once he gets his Blink Dagger. Just an interesting grab nonetheless, and something I wager is going to be the Patsoul pick.
Yep.
Oh man.
I was just kind of unsure what. None of your go-to safe laners were there. Your Troll, your Jug, the 2 big ones, of course, and. I mean, I like the Drowban as well. That was another candidate for that.
If he's thinking he could just rage before the Adaptive Strike, he's going to be in for a rude awakening. The fact of the matter is, it's instant. And especially once Morphling gets what they consider a luxury item in a Blink Dagger. You get a Blink Dagger, then you're done with Morphling. All you need is Tranquil Boost, Soul Ring, and a Blink, and no one's going to be getting away from it. So, interesting grab from Voidboys. Something I haven't seen in a while. We'll see if it works out for him. But for Wheel, we could find out here. If indeed it will be the offlane Morphling, which I am anticipating, that's a Tinker. Okay, that's a Tinker.
Wait. So who is a support Lena then?
Oh God, yeah.
Or support Morphling?
Well, I'm still anticipating the strength morphling here. GoDz on the support Lina, and that would be an offlane morphling, support Earthshaker, safe lane farming Jug.
So they decide to not do the Lina mid. I don't know if they were deciding this all along, or it's like a response. It could be a response to the Lifestealer because you can't use that Yule's combo on him, but you've got Laguna to go through the rage once you get the Ag Scepter. But maybe they just looked at this game and said, wait, Tinker is just going to be great this game. There's only really like maybe a Blink Axe to cause him some problems at some point, but it seems like a decent Tinker game.
I don't really see what the trouble could be. Does have to force out BKBs, though, for a lot of the Voidboy squad. I know that Lifestealer has his own natural rage, but, I mean, this is just going to be funky. And look at this. It's Mike playing the Morphling. He has had experience going against it, I'm sure, in NEL from time to time. I'm sure he's somewhat close buddies with Universe, who's been sporting it more as of recent. So maybe just looking to take a bit from what he's seen and make it work here. And like I said, all he needs to really worry about is just kind of get XP, eventually get your Tranquil Blutes, get your Soul Ring, and then you're online and ready to play. So we'll keep an eye out for that one. But here we go, folks. It's game number 2 of this best-of-3 matchup for the Summit 2 presented by Gigabyte. Phase 2 action. This is elimination match. It's point for Wheel. Voidboys lose this one. They are done. For Voidboys on your Radiant side, we got Beyond, who's going to be playing your Shadow Fiend Omega Poner. On the support Phoenix, Mercy Please, playing what I anticipate as the offlane Axe along the bottom. Fly is going to be playing your Lion, and none other than the one and only Man of Mystery, Pat Soul. He's going to be playing your Lifestealer.
Well, before some of these banner runes come out, quickly introduce the dire side. Team Wheel up 1-0. Derp going to be on the Earthshaker. Ix Mike 88 on your Morphling. Going to be going to the offlane Wheel. Going to have Goody on the Lina support. Relic going to be going mid on the Tinker, leaving Sleazel to the safe lane farming role on the Juggernaut.
He's warmed up on a Jug, so he already knows what to expect. Just no problem for him, as he'll have to be up in arms with, I imagine, being the Axe potential dual lane with Omega Poner. Looks like that will be the case as they head that way. Beyond grabs up the bounty rune there at the top. Relic takes the one at the bottom, so pretty evenly split between both mid laners here. But it will be a Tinker matchup potentially against your Shadow Fiend. One we don't see a whole lot. Tinker, maybe his main focus, stay alive, get your early CS in, and just try to push forward and getting those boots of travel. That's when you get the bread and butter of your Tinker play.
In the dire jungle here, Goody and Omega Poner scanning each other out. Forces out a dive.
Okay. Poner, what are you doing over there?
He was dropping down a sentry. He wants to block out the big camp. That's your Tinker farm there.
Yeah.
It's really the best camp to stack because you're kind of guaranteed good farm there. You no mud golems to worry about. And the big camp on the far left is just too far away for Tinker to get to.
This is a nice little early start for Mike, as they have no support nearby to zone him back, so he can get some free CS here, which is just dandy for a Morphling who doesn't expect to really get any CS in a lane like this, so he'll have a nice little head start there. On the other side, it is indeed that dual lane matchup here. Mercy Please and Phoenix. They have the slow potential, but they can't get over-aggressive here. Goody will be nearby just in case with the Light Strike Array, and with that long range, he can really effectively zone back, and there you see a little bit of extra harassment here onto Omega Poner.
Yeah, so solid, just stable start coming out from Will. They leave the Earthshaker mid to just keep the Tinker safe and even pressure the SF a bit so he doesn't play as aggressive as he otherwise might. And Relic doesn't mind sharing a bit of XP here. He's more concerned like in the fast timing on his boots of travel rather than like the kind of solo XP.
So a little dance around a bit. We'll have to keep our eyes here as Derp looks to get involved. He could land a nice stun here to lock down at least Mercy Please. Okay, they get the Axe, follow up with the LSA, spin flies out. Mercy Please is in trouble. Gets the call off, just any extra armor he can, and, well, he gets pincered into a corner, and eventually he will go down. First blood to all people goes to Sleazel on his Jug. It's Wheel who strike first.
Yeah, that's a nice play there. The Earthshaker spent so much time at mid lane. I think Voidboys were just kind of expecting him to be lingering around there even longer, but Derp's moving on this Earthshaker. Game 1 was on point as well, and we're seeing it again here in Game 2.
I like this as well. Relic really keeping the Shadow Fiend in check. That laser, 100% miss chance. How do you feel about that, buddy? It's going to keep him in, back on his side. He's got some early burst of levels. Now reaches level 4. 14 and 6 CS to the Shadow Fiend 7-0. But that's expected. Shadow Fiend usually has a slower start until he can build up all that extra, souls and base damage. But now even the harassment coming out from the Earthshaker, just trying their best to keep the Shadow Fiend in check.
Yeah. And Tinker, 2 points in the laser. Kind of standard because you're going to be using that. Bottom lane, though, they've gone in on Mike a bit here.
Doesn't matter, though. If he wanted to, he could always morph and waveform away. It's hard to take him down. And, well, he'll just kind of heal on up. The one thing I am curious to see is how Mike, once he does come online, that's when you see him like convert all the strength over. Some people go all in on the strength with no agility. I mean, as long as you have tranquils, you don't have to worry about the armor a bit, and you can always build on top of it. And you can even be a gem carrier just because he soaks so much damage. Even blade mail is something that a lot of these strength morphlings consider. So we'll see what Mike decides to do. Is he's still getting some good levels here at level 3. And we'll see rotations to come. Mercy Please is abandoning the offlane for now. He's leaving the Phoenix, as you anticipated in the draft, but I don't think he was anticipating being taken down. So he's going to have to step in the jungle and look to play catch-up there.
Yeah, his Blink Dagger is the kind of tempo controller for Voidboys in the mid-game. So he can't just keep going top lane and just leeching XP. He needs to go somewhere where he can be guaranteed farm. Oh, almost get a kill in the top lane with a fissure, but... Yeah. It misses the fissure. Would have set up a LSA that could have led to another kill.
A little off the mark, unfortunately. But all right, they look to step back here. Relic still comfortably ahead as far as CS goes at 24 and 14. The 14 denies also is a big thing here. He is just dominant control here and continues to laser and harass beyond. You're going to see the Tranquils now complete on Mercy Please for his axe. It makes jungling a bit easier for him. He's got a couple of stacks here to work with, but there is a rotation happening. It looks like potentially from Wheel. They're sending Derp back towards the top here, but it's not going to be easy to take down the bird as long as he has a first dive.
If you get that fissure from Fog, though, that's where you can chain stun with the LSA. They tried it before. It's very hard because you want to get him right at the edge and stay out of vision. And right now, I don't think Voidboys know that Earthshaker is in the river where he is, so Phoenix may get caught out here if he's not careful.
Good positioning for Relic, more on the northern side of this mid lane. Sees Fly coming in with the Illusion Rune and just steps away. So a gank attempt there from Voidboys. Not going to be successful. This is more support attention away from the bottom. Mike can just gladly move on in. He's about to get level 5 now. Actually goes for the Bassy ring here. A bit intriguing. I saw PPD do this before for his strength morphling.
He's going to disassemble this.
Could disassemble it, yeah.
This will become Tranquils plus
the Soul
Yules or
for
something.
The Soul Ring, probably.
Yeah, Soul Ring. Yeah, that's your basic. Tranquil Soul Ring is your basic item. So for now, you just why not? You get a Bassy or you get mana regen.
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, why not? So he'll hold it for now, not looking to assemble and put the two together quite yet. And as long as he just continues to stay strong and build up those levels, he should have no trouble whatsoever. I mean, you don't even need to level up the morph. You can go into stats thereafter. You probably won't see him get the replicate early on, as it's better once you get to level 2, so maybe 10 and 11 you can grab it there. Because that's the other nice thing. Hold on, though. They go for mid. Good fissure laydown. Beyond immediately retreats to the south side away from the march, and because of that, he will be able to make it away. So good quick heads up to not panic and get caught in the fissure. He just makes the appropriate run down, and we'll make it out alive.
Relic, though, getting big CS. 35 last hits, 14 denies. That's impressive. Jug and the Lifesteal are pretty much on point with one another, with 36 to 33. Not really anything separating those two. So it's the mid lane where it feels like Wheel are getting more. And even looking at the offlaners, your Morphling level 5.5 with 13 CS. Compared to your axes rotate in the jungle, but this is kind of what your axe is meant to do. I feel like Morphling is going to be really happy just with kind of the levels we talked about. He doesn't need farm on this area. You just need to get the XP, and then you can make a lot happen.
You don't need anything. You need Tranquil Soul Ring. Anything on top of that is just bonus. So I remember when it first started coming out, I was watching, it was on Dota Pit where EG played it. They were like, oh, Universe is having such a hard time in the off lane. It's like, no, man, he just needs those levels. That's it. And then that's when things get exciting. So all you need to do is be the playmaker and set everything up for your team. But looking to set up is Voidboys here mid lane. Okay, immediate hex on the Derp. They're going for Relic here, but he just comes out, drops the fissure, and even a rotation to come from Goody. Another gank attempt on mid. It's very apparent the Shadow Fiend's crying out for help or something, but he can't quite get it.
That was just a smart play from Relic. Kind of doing what the SF did earlier, except much more kind of split-second reactions from Relic, where the SF, it's like, well, they have no stuns. They're not. I mean, I run this direction. There's nothing they can do. And now he's got big stacks waiting from the jungle. He's got a triple stack of the medium camp, a triple stack of the big camp. This will be at least a good kind of 1,000 or so gold and get him very close to the Boots of Travel.
And the one thing that is going well for Voidboys, Pat Soul bottom lane. He has his Midas now. He had it a little bit earlier. There was a bit of a thing with the Courier having to go to the Shadow Fiend first. Then he eventually got it, but he's slowly building up that farm. Is this looking like, I mean, GoDz, I'm rusty with my Lifestealer. It's not a hero we get to see very often. Is this a kind of a game where you're just looking to go right for an armlet and just have that kind of battle preparation?
Yeah, I think armlet's probably still your best Lifestealer item in general. There's not that much like damage over time, which will prevent him from armlet toggling as well, so it's a pretty good game for that. But yeah, probably just like a treads armlet, and then from there you can kind of see how things are looking as far as what item you get after that.
On the other side of the world, Omega Poner Level 5, trying to get to level 6 so we can get that egg ready. Looks like just has a wand for now. No early look at a Midas quite yet. We'll probably look to eventually get one if he favors getting that, accelerated farm and XP. On the other side, though, is Sleesel. Continues to find his own way. Morbid Mask, Phase Boots complete. Looking like a bit of a deja vu from the last game, I'd imagine, for him. But, yeah, 8-minute rune pops up. Quickly snagged there from Relic. How close is he to these Boots of Travel? He's got 1,500 gold. He's on good timing here. And that's when Tinker really likes to have fun. I mean, imagine a setup from your Morphling Adaptive Strike is plenty of time for a Boots of Travel rotation from your Tinker to finish things off. I imagine we're going to be seeing a lot of that soon. Oh, yeah.
Just having supports like Lina with a lot of damage to follow up the stun as well, like a Laguna Blade, even with just support Lina can offer a lot of follow-up damage. So Relic will come back in the jungle, throw some more March, and this will be his Boots of Travel here. He'll farm up the medium camp, he'll probably stack the big camp on the route to farming it, and then we're online. He won't really be able to gank as much maybe as straight away with the Boots of Travel. Needs some more levels, but it just gives him that mobility around the map to make the most of his jungle, the farm on the map, and even offer some support.
Yeah, I anticipate rather, once Tinker gets those ruby red shoes, that's when also Mike will probably look to go on the move with his Morphling. They'll just be looking to create and set up plays across the map. And Voidboys better be ready for it. Mercy Please very low here. Actually gets taken down from the neutral camp there at the end, and he had gold on him. Okay, that's...
Yeah, that was...
I mean, maybe bad luck with the spins or something. Lion
him,
should have soaked some of the damage. That was a bit awkward, unfortunately. That puts him off from his Blink Dagger a little bit.
And that blink timing is the most important thing right now in this game for Voidboys. Lifesteal farming, like you expect him. This Pat Soul Lifesteal should be free farming regardless, but the Axe Blink Dagger is what's going to lead them to have a strong mid-game, find kills, and use that kind of Infest Bomb in the Axe to have a good mid-game. And we're just not seeing it up just yet. It's going to be coming still at a decent time, around 11-12 minutes, but that death does slow things down.
Unfortunate play for them right there. Sleesel continues to pressure this top lane, but your Relic Boots of Travel now online and ready, so this is when the party really starts for your Tinker, and makes my life difficult in trying to catch up with him on my camera, so I'll try my best here, but Relic is going to be all over the place. And now Mike, he's got his Tranquils complete, and he's going to be turning that into his Soul Ring. So there we go. Morphling's ready to play.
He's hit level 7 now.
I mean, if he wanted to, he can go all into strength. He could be like a, 1,200 life point support stun setup if he chooses, but some people, they want a little bit of extra base armor and some right click. I'm more of like, you don't care about right click, you have Tranquils. Just keep Tranquils active all the time. Right click's irrelevant. Yeah. If you want damage, you can use your waveform and you can use your replicate.
I think I like it around like maybe 2/3 strength and then like the rest in agi. Like you definitely want to always have that max duration stun, but I don't think you have to go like 100% strength.
Okay. Pressure towards top. The glyph is there, but the tower will go down. And Sleesel picks it up, but they're looking for a retort, but they'd be fighting into a March of Madness. A March of Machines. Phoenix does go down, gets crumpled right there. Sleesel grabs his Mask of Madness, looking for maybe an Omni Slash, but they have already walked out. Voidboys, probably not the best time to defend. Should have considered maybe sacking the tower, but they end up losing their bird.
Something, I don't know. I don't know how much this Phoenix player has dealt with it, but from playing just some matchmaking games, if you're Phoenix against Tinker, diving into March Machines, you just get hit so many times by these little chompers that you take like 2/3 of your HP can be gone in one dive. Like you're already throwing away HP to use the dive, and then suddenly, you do not want to dive into March ever. It can just do ridiculous damage. You can cast the missiles on the Phoenix while he's mid-dive as well. So if there's a missile while you're diving in the March, like we just saw, that's just a dead Phoenix from full HP. It's miserable versing Tinker as Phoenix.
Mercy Please is back, and he's getting some assistance here from Omega Poner now, which leaves Sleesel to his own devices here in the top lane on his Jug to farm it on up, but they are clearly putting a lot behind Mercy Please on getting this Blink Dagger. They're like, we need this right now to turn this game around. It only looks like a little 3-0 here for Wheel, but they're off to a really strong start across the map, and they have yet to really unleash this Strength Morphling, which could be coming here potentially in the bottom lane.
There's a blink already for your Tinker. Relic is
really there. It is. Stun on the Pat Soul. He's going to be sitting there for quite a while. Laguna, follow-up stun, does get the rage off. The Fissure's just slightly off with the timing, and he is going to be able to infest. Maybe a bit early with the adaptive, but they did want to make sure they got it.
I think a bit late with the Fissure, and also Tinker maybe... I think they thought they had the kill without the Tinker, but Tinker should just TP'd immediately with the Heatseeker missiles. They're going to turn this one around. Look for Mike here. Infest just used defensively from Pat Soul. He does not want to go back in, and it's actually a Lion taken out by the Fissure.
Yeah, he even got hit with the adaptive again, so I doubt he was going to be going anywhere. With that Soul Ring, you'll have it. It's only 10-second cooldown each time, but Pat Soul is able to finish off his armlet. So he heads back towards the base to heal on up. So now still 4-0. Flawless start here for Wheel. And just when you think a lot of action's happening at the bottom, Sleesel's getting a lot elsewhere. So chalk it up as space created, but your Jug has 2k gold that he has just spent, and what I imagine being the Yasha, there it is, en route. Yeah. So he's got great farm.
Come in and spot an Ancient stack as well, and there's no Radiant Vision that he's gone here. Whoa, SF, meanwhile, that's your...
Earthshaker kill, yeah, on bottom lane.
Like Invis or something, maybe?
And no Requiem used, just maybe a couple of quick raises is all it takes. Maybe out of position there, but hey, Voidboys finally get themselves on the board with that kill. As they look to pressure this mid lane, Mercy Please has his blink, he wants to use it.
Sleazel just took the Ancient stack too. He's still full HP, he can't really be punished. Phoenix will scout him out, but it's too late, and...
Aha, see you later.
Could have maybe even gone for the quick Omni Slash. If Phoenix doesn't react quick enough with the dive, that could be a kill.
Yeah. Well, he'll walk away and just keep on farming up, so he's that hero to fall back on, but where is our Tinker at? I'm sure he's causing a ruckus somewhere. He's in the jungle, got a couple of stacks he's building up, and I mean, Boots of Travel, Blink Dagger, where do we really go from here?
Another Dagon, I think. Even just a Dagon 1, and then you can go for it. He's so far ahead on farm that I think getting a Dagon to synergize with the Morphling Adaptive Strike Initiation is going to be... He's going to get a Dagon at some point. It's just whether or not it's his first item or like a later item.
I think he's going Yules as well, too.
Okay.
Not your usual Blink Dagger to really be able to close the gap or even jump behind him and push him towards your team, but hell, I mean, you could Adaptive, wait for it to come out, Yules.
Yeah.
Then Adaptive's probably up again.
Or it's you just have such good control. You Adaptive one hero, you Yules another in a fight. Exactly. That's two heroes taken out of action for multiple seconds of time. You can use as an initiation if someone's really far away and you... Well, here we go.
Shoves beyond back. Yeah. There's going to be a follow-up stun, another stun, a Laguna. Okay, quick Yules, but yeah, he's dead. That's 3 somewhat supports taking out your Shadow Fiend, but oh goody, could be an exchange and will be. March comes out, but Mercy Please and Pat Soul are both right there to help clean up, and they end up trading a Shadow Fiend for the support Lina. Still advantage for Wheel.
Yep. Nice support Lina going straight into that Aghanim Scepter, already level 7. Jug, meanwhile, oh, by the way, I'll take that free Roche.
No problem.
Nothing's going to stop me.
This is not looking as close of a game here, at least for the early start here for Voidboys.
Game 1 did start kind of one-sided.
That is true. That is true.
It was definitely a good late... Voidboys showed some good prowess in the late game. Well, they're going to look to maybe get there a bit sooner. It's the Infest Bomb onto the Axe. They smoke up with 2. They've got Finger. They've got what should be a sure kill with a Blink Initiation, but we'll see if that actually happens.
They know Sleesel's there. He's at a quarter life.
It's just a Earthshaker, though, but it's still better than nothing, but they would much rather have found like a Tinker or someone TPing to the mid lane.
Yeah, they knew Sleesel was farming that. I wonder why they didn't want to move over and get that.
Mid lane.
Jump back missile, but Fly is right there to catch him. Very heads up play there from your Lion. Egg does fly out. Relic, self-Yules, or the Yules from beyond, whatever you want to do. And yeah, there's going to be the raise to follow. So Relic does go down. Sleesel continues farming out those Ancients, but Voidboys string together a couple of kills that they certainly do need. And Mike will split push bottom to finish his Yules. I do have to say, though, I figured Mike would be a bit more on the offensive at this point to really use the adaptive while he's got it, but he has found a home in this bottom lane to keep farming up.
He's level 11, yeah. I think normally you'd see a bit more involvement from Mike, or from like an offlane Morphling, but he's still done enough and should be involved in one more kill. They mess up the one of the Lifestealer, but he's just in a good position. General mid lane, Lion, Laguna, no, just out of range.
The thing is also, Mike really wanted farm. You can always just replicate the Jug and send him into the jungle and let that farm up for you, but he's going to make the best of it. And that is another thing, is that he'll have that extra burst of DPS by just using the Jug if he'd like in these fights to come. So
I don't know how much they can... There's a Lion Hex mana drain, so they've got good ways of countering the replicate. So maybe more something he uses as an escape tool, but either way, a great spell in general. I mean, if he doesn't have enough escapes already with Waveform and the Morph Strength, he's got another one.
Yeah. Well, his Yules will be complete. The same moment your Lion's able to put together his own pair of shoes. This guy's Tranquils, but focus on this mid lane. Mike's here. He's ready to play. Anyone he sees, he could just Waveform in and set things up. As the rest of his team, you can see Relic now, all in mid lane. They want to get this tier 1 tower. Voidboys, though, they are out the back door. They're heading towards top lane, maybe looking to go for a trade.
After that last Tinker death, I think this is the right item. The Bloodstone first from Tinker is just going to give him the short respawn, but most importantly, just HP and mana. So it's just such a great item to rush on Tinker. It kind of scales really well into the late game, and after the Bloodstone, then you can kind of decide. It's kind of like getting a Maya. It's like you're just going to stall waiting to figure out what item you're going to be getting and what item you need. The Bloodstone is just never really a bad choice for a Tinker.
Now they look like to rotate towards the top. Relic, boot to travel in. And there's the jump call. Sleesel, Omni Slash onto Mercy, please. Fissure locks him down, and it's going to be a quick pick on your big boy. Now they want Beyond, and they'll get that. This was set up with the adaptive from Mike. And the follow-through makes it a double kill for Sleesel. There's nowhere to run here from Wheel. As Voidboys just try their best to maybe go for a trade in this top lane, they are in for a rude awakening.
Petzel's got out of there at least with a Rage TP. He's back farming bottom lane. He's farmed up, but it still feels like as a lifesteal, there's only so much he can do this game.
Okay, Yule's adaptive to follow. Boop. And now Fly's dead.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mike pick up a Blink Dagger of his own as his next item. I think a Yule's Blink, the Blink adaptive strike, then you can use your waveform either to escape or even get like a Blink plus waveform in, and then you've got like a 2k initiation range.
Yeah. Or hell, just blink behind him, shove him, then waveform. You get extra nuke damage. Yeah, the possibilities are endless. You're just the playmaker. You set things up with that stun. Allows plenty of time for the follow-up there. Even your boot to travel in from Relic. And once he puts together all this big burst he's got, it's going to be real tough for Voidboys to get away. It's just so instant here. Now Goody. Good scout out Omega Poner. Boom! Gets shoved. Easy LSA. Now there is a call. They get the Phoenix down, but there's going to be the Yules from Mike. Does save him. Finger will not, though. Now Sleesel. Uh-oh, in trouble. No Omni Slash. Just tries to right-click it down. Does still have the Aegis here, but they end up taking out the 3. Aegis will go down. Mike on the chase. 2 more seconds. He'll have another adaptive for Pat Soul. Boom! Gets him right there. No follow-up quite yet, but here comes Sleesel. Another follow-up fissure. There's nowhere for Pat Soul to go. He gets the rage off now. Turns back onto Derp. Will be able to take him down. Mike, morph up, buddy. Yule something. Shoves him back, and that's it. Okay, triple kill for Sleesel. And that's a 5-man takedown suddenly for Wheel.
Sleesel's just out of control. Picks up the Skull Basher now as another 600 gold. He is just in prime position to take over this game. He already has with the help of Mike, and that was just a well-coordinated team fight. They used the Aegis great there. They lose one. The big problem there for Voidboys, if Axe had got that first culling blade off, they burst down the one hero too fast, and they used the finger and everything while Axe was disabled. It was the only way they could really get the kill, but without the culling blade, they didn't get the movement speed they needed to move on to the next kill and get away from the Juggernaut, so really put them in a tough spot there.
So Wheel got to be feeling pretty confident at this point with their advantage here, looking at the graph. Almost to that 10k mark already. And, well, you're feeling like maybe a bit more defensive play will be coming out here from Voidboys beyond just kind of second-guessing what he can even do here on the bottom lane. And this is your Shadow Fiend who's hoping to get, big Spirit Bomb setups, but it's proving to be a bit difficult here.
And unlike Game 1, they don't really have that big comeback potential. They don't have the team fight with the Chronosphere and the triple carry Battle Trance. They just... It's a lifestealer who is not really a good comeback carry here. This hero gets kited around, countered by Ghost Scepters, 4-stars. SF is under farm. They have not got a way to turn this game around very well with their lineup.
As expected, even top lane, just Mike sees the bird, moves in, adaptive, and it's plenty of time for Relic to show up and finish him off. No one is safe on their own. And you could think, oh, well, I'll just get a BKB, but it's instant.
And now look what Lena's going to say about your BKBs.
Yeah, Lena's like, okay, cool, BKB, I got an Agnums now. This was your support Lena, now with an Ags. It's all she's got, but at Laguna, it is plenty of burst to take advantage of the lockdown factor that their team has. This is a tough test here for Voidboys. Yeah. Real tough.
Yeah, Relic's got his Bloodstone complete now, so if you start losing some fights, Relic will start really pulling ahead with Bloodstone charges. Gets his second Soul Ring as well, just to make sure he still has that for a good mana efficiency. And I imagine it will be a Dagon next, but whatever it's going to be, you're this far ahead. Any item is a good item. A Hex is good, a Shivers is good, the Dagon's good. Even like a Ghost Scepter, so the Lifestealer can't right-click you down.
It's all good. And, well, not really surprised. Gem was picked up. Was it by Mike? Nope. Derp gets the gem, hands it over to Mike because he's a great candidate to have it. He's very elusive. Plus, at a moment's notice, he could just bring in the gains.
And there's your blink.
And there's the blink. And he went with the morph build up here. So, I mean, that allows you to be a bit more flexible. If you don't want to go all in on the strength, you can quickly convert it. But, hey, Beyond, how's it going? Now you're in a coma. Not going anywhere. Quick and easy kill set up for Mike.
We may chase
and everyone's got to get the hell back because he has another one in 2 seconds. Fly, Yule's adapted to follow, and he's going to be dead. Oh, no. Quick Hex reaction from Mike, but okay. That was cute, but boom. Now you go to sleep. Here comes the follow-through. Nuke, and that's all she wrote. Meanwhile, Sleesel gets a kill mid lane as he's able to finish off Pat's Soul on his own. Okay. Cost him an Omni Slash and a Mask of Madness, but he'll take it.
Yeah, this is looking really problematic for Voidboys. Not really an easy way for them to find kills or take team fights or anything here. They're just getting all their lanes pushed out. They've got no map control. Deep wards getting planted in the Radiant jungle of the top lane. Voidboys can't move out without being detected, and then you just find the pickoffs. Mike with the Blink Adaptive Strike, Tinker with the Boots of Travel with his Blink Dagger. May even see Jug with an Abyssal Blade. He may go for something like a Blink Next as well if he wants to join the party, and then the bleeding's just going to continue if you're on the Voidboys side.
They're creeping forward. They think that now they have 2 companions here. It's safe, so they look to take the lane. But yeah, map control heavily in favor here from Wheel, as they just look to clear out the remaining outer towers here. They want to suffocate Voidboys and restrict them away from any sort of easy access to farm. And okay, they pop a smoke, but Mike's nearby. He just blinks out then when he sees it. And now that smoke comeback play is quickly thwarted.
About that. Dire Ward scouts them out too on the high ground. They know where they are. And look at this tier 2 tower. It looks like Lena gonna get caught.
Okay, good catch. Mike needs to get in there and get a Yules off if he wants to help out, but now the finger and the dunk to follow. Mike just wants to get the hell away and will do so. Runs on out. And Derp could be left behind. Gets the fissure out, slows him down. Mercy Please. Oh, blinks himself into the corner and won't be able to cross over. And they're just getting so much because while they're up in arms with that, Relic is split pushing the top lane on a Tinker. This just is too much, I feel, for Voidboys to handle. They're trying to juggle around what their priorities are, and Wheel are just proven to be up in their face. And it's probably very puzzling right now to Voidboys on what they can do to come back into this.
This is like 5 big problems to deal with. You've got the pressure on the bottom tier 2 tower, Tinker farming away, Jug finding kills and farming your ancient stacks, and at best you can deal with like one of these 4 or 5 major problems, and then the other 4 you're going to lose to. So it really feels like Voidboys just don't have the items, the levels, the hero composition to take this game anymore.
And it's not going to get any easier. They're just going to continue to get more farm across the map. They already have a 14k net worth advantage. This is not looking like the more even matchup we saw in the previous game. This is looking like Wheel have thrown together a nice little draft that's worked out beautifully for them. But here we go. Potential bomb here in the mid lane. This Mercy Please has the Pat's Soul Lifestealer here embedded, but there's no opening to had. And, well, Mike, he's on a bit of an expedition, maybe looking to explore the jungle nearby, as they anticipate a Roche to be coming up here in a moment's notice. He'll quickly deward as well.
Alright, going for this. He's stuck for a few more seconds, has his blink. Okay.
He's out. This is not easy.
Radiant's top tower is under
They need
attack.
this Infest Bomb is like the one kind of trick left, and they're going to keep going for this trick over and over again.
But
We'll know
Relic.
it's coming.
Relic's like, you want to go for Roche? You want to counter Roche? Well, you better come back and defend top, otherwise you're going to lose that.
Yep. And they know it's coming up this second. This is more or less max respawn time. Sleazel waited out, and what's this? Yeah, he's gone for the Blink Dagger as well. So triple Blink Daggers. Lena may get one as well. They're getting blinks all over. Probably going to see a 5-man Blink lineup.
Mike going to be in there in the pit, but really, what can Voidboys do? Nothing. They just have to accept that this is happening, and feeling like Wheel threw together a really nice draft here. They just kind of have an answer for everything.
Playing really well this as well. Like, they executed their draft. They didn't give Voidboys enough out of the laning stage. That Phoenix Lifestealer dual lane in the offlane, I feel, was kind of what was going to be the big difference maker. And getting that Axe, I mean, Axe got an okay timing on his blink, but he died once the neutrals. Could have been better. They never found the kills on the Tinker mid as well. Like, they tried once or twice to go for those ganks, but they just kept him alive. The Earthshaker being the other big pick. I think the Earthshaker has really been the key hero for Wheel throughout this series.
Axe picks up a Blade Mail, but they got to make something happen here. But they can't get too close. If Mike catches them, they are going to be in trouble. So they just lose their tier 2 mid. That is all outer towers already down here for Voidboys. Voidboys, they haven't even taken a tower yet, GoDz. They can't get anything done. They are constantly on the defensive here.
And against Tinker, good luck getting one this game. Unless you're trading it for like a Rax, Tinker's probably going to go back and defend. So, we'll see. Voidboys just stuck, grouped as 5, trying to find that pick off. Sleazel's got the Aegis. Maybe they try burst his Aegis down, then get the hell out, because Tinker will be TPing in to back him up. And Shiva's Guard now 200 gold short. Relic will just head back to the jungle and finish that one off.
Curious to see what Mike goes for next year. He's got 2,500 gold. I mean, you already got the basics. Like I said,
my personal favorite at this point is the Dagon for more damage. I think it's actually pretty good on Morphling as your next item. Otherwise, you go for like team-oriented items, like you get Vlad's for the push, but I think Dagon's.
And that's the other thing
really
is,
nice.
it's just Morphling has a high ceiling. I mean, he could just transition to a core if he really wanted to, but for now, he's just gonna kind of nurse the gold a bit to see what the best would be for his interest. His Relic takes away more farm from the Voidboys jungle. Voidboys have just been kind of dancing around their home base right here, seeing who's coming in from where. Maybe they can get a quick pick if someone just goes a bit too far out past their leash. But Wheel are not giving them any easy opportunities. They will continue to steal most of the economy across the map, and when they feel like they have just a lot more in their arsenal, they might just charge on into the Voidboys' home.
Yeah. I feel like if you just look at like the last 2 or 3 minutes, without a single kill happening, Wheel are probably getting 80% of the farm, Voidboys getting maybe like 20% of the farm of the map, so it's not looking good. Your Earthshaker's now farmed the Blink, so there's another Blink to go into the picture here, and this is getting rough.
I think 20% is even being generous at this point for Voidboys. I mean, they're lucky to make it out to their closest neutral camp without it being already taken away from Wheel or them just being nearby. So Pat Soul puts his attention to kind of work with bottom. He does have a BKB now, but
he can stay alive, but what's he killing? Like, what at best maybe an Earthshaker or a Lina, but then as soon as that BKB rage wears off, goodbye.
Oh, Sleesel blinks forward. Gets welcomed with a quick Hex, but he still has the move speed. Slowed down again from the Earth Spike. They're persistent. And no! Abyssal Blade. Lion's dead. Almost one shot, it feels like there. And now, here comes Wheel from the north. They have worked to build up this glorious advantage, and they want to walk away with a victory here. They already have the one game up. With this win, they take it to the next round, the lower bracket, and Voidboys are on elimination here from the Summit 3, so they have got to pull out all the stops to stop Wheel from ending it.
Hey, and Lion's dead, so you got that second Juggernaut now hitting on the tower as well. No Mana Drain, no Hex to deal with it. Fire Spirits will slow it down a bit, but that's a free tier 3 tower. You've got to go into the March if you want to defend this, and that just makes life so difficult. Here comes the Infest Bomb from the side, though.
And they get it. There's the big jump, but immediately adaptive onto Axe. Pat Soul, though, with his rage, can time out the BKB thereafter as he tries to right-click down Mike. Mike can just morph strength, though. He's not an easy target. Sleesel just comes in behind and easily chops him down like it was nothing. And once they see that, they're like, we are done. We have thrown in the towel. Voidboys, eliminated from the Summit 3 Wheel, stay alive, and they will move on forward.
I mean, Voidboys was the big talk from Phase 1. They took down 2 big-name teams with Jimmy's new team in Summoner's Rift, and then they took down Tinker, but here in Phase 2, loss after loss, the team had a good start, but they couldn't just keep it up here in Phase 2.
That was wonderfully played from Wheel, in a lineup we haven't seen them do. I don't think I've seen them do this kind of lineup at all. I don't remember the last time I've seen Relic pull out a Tinker. I know Mike has not been playing a lot of Morph, but I don't know, man. It looked great. It looked really good. They had an answer for everything. Mike had plenty of farm. There felt like a lot of pressure from Voidboys early on to make something happen. It was like 2 gank attempts on mid lane that came up a bit short. And I think it was just Wheel's game from top to bottom.
Their strategies look good. That's the thing. Like, you can go back and say, oh, this could have gone right for Voidboys, but it felt like every little thing had to go right. They had to get the ganks on mid on the Tinker. They had to get Axe with great stacks and jungle farm and like a 9-minute blink dagger. And even then, if they got all that happening, maybe it was like 50-50 they win the game. For Wheel, they didn't even have to do everything right. They just had a better strategy.
All right, good stuff for Wheel. They get to move forward. Voidboys, they played a very solid game. They very impressive through Phase 1, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last we see of them. But congratulations to Wheel. They move forward, and well, we're not done yet. We got one more series to come. I believe we're probably going to have a bit of a break here. It's 5:08 local time, and I believe our next match starts at 6:30. So about an hour and a half, an hour and 20 minutes till our next matchup. That is going to be Boreal taking on E-Hug, and another lower bracket matchup. Elimination on the line. The other one looking to just stay alive and now face what will be Team Wheel. So looking forward to that, but we're going to be done for now. So enjoy your small intermission. Check out the other Dota action. Get something to eat, whatever you got to do. I'm KotLGuy. That's GoDz. That's Shagbark. We'll be back with more action very soon.